Hey, this is Justin Gilman with Quantum Leads, and today I'll be walking you through your digital marketing attack plan to show you how you could turn your website into a lead generation machine to really generate some revenue for your business month over month. Now, if you take a look at the top here, we're looking at Roofing Tampa, which generates about 1,600 searches every single month. So, there's a lot more searches out there too, and you factor in, terms like roof installation Tampa, roof repair Tampa, roofing near me, all these other search terms. So for the sake of this video, we're just going to focus on this one search term, but I wanted to give you an idea of how much more potential is really out there. But let's start talking about how you can turn these 1,600 searches a month into revenue for your business. So we're going to start on your website, and going through your website, I think you have a very visually aesthetic website. However, for the sake of SEO, I think that there's a lot of things that we can improve on to really improve our search appearance. Now, when we're talking about these things, we're going to start talking about internal search engine optimization, which is essentially all the different ways that we can improve your website from within the website itself. Now, normally you hear things like title tags, heading tags, local business schema, and while those are all great for your business, for the sake of time in this video, we're just going to focus on the two most important things, which are content and keywords. Now, let's talk about content first. Why is having a lot of content so important? Well, content gives users something to engage with. And when a user has something to engage with, they tend to have a better user experience and are more likely to come back to your website or use Google for future searches. So it really makes sense that Google would promote a website that promotes that positive user experience because it's a win-win situation for them. So we really want to shoot for that content. Normally, I like to recommend about 750 to 1,000 words on any given page. And obviously, we can increase that depending on how you feel about it. But like I said, 750 to 1,000 is the minimum that I would recommend where you still have a lot of content, but you don't sacrifice that visual aesthetic of your website. Because I know a lot of people want content, but they're scared that it's going to sacrifice, or take away from the visuals. So, like I said, one more time, 750 to 1,000 words, but you're probably saying, well, Justin, why don't I just have 5,000 words on a web page and Google will automatically rank me number one? Well, that sounds good, but it's not realistic because we have to maintain our content as far as being relevant. We want our content to be super relevant because otherwise we'll appear for landscaping terms or maybe AC repair terms. And, that's not going to help generate us any business. So the way we keep our content relevant is with keywords. Now, keywords are the most used words or phrases on a web page. And based on these keywords, we're going to tell Google vital things about our business, such as what industry we're in, where we do business, and even, things about our brand or who are we. So let's go to your keywords and see if you answer any of those questions for Google. So here we are in a tool I use called Keywords Everywhere. And if you look down here, you'll see your most used keywords. We're just going to focus in on the first 5 or 6. However, I do always recommend to further optimize, but for the sake of time, like I said, we'll just be focusing on those first 6. So number 1 and 2, I always recommend very industry specific keywords. Now, number 1 should always be your industry. So whatever you do, in this case, roofing. So that's perfect as your number 1 keyword. However, number 2, I always recommend some sort of modifier to that first industry specific keyword. So let's say we have roofing at number 1, then we might want installation or maybe repair or even home, just to kind of complement that first keyword. So Southern isn't the greatest, but it's definitely something that we can use. Like I said, I would always recommend using a complement, maybe something a little bit better in this case. Now, number 3 and 4, I always recommend putting your location in there. The reason I recommend putting your location is that it tells Google where you are and it really helps them drive that local traffic to you. So definitely something to think about. We want that to happen because we want local traffic. Number 5 and number 6, I always recommend putting your brand in there. A lot of people don't put their brand in there. Obviously, you have. However, we always want to put that brand in there just so that people can really find our business by using our name. So definitely something to think about. We always want to keep our brand in there. So just a quick recap. Number 1 and 2, industry specific keywords. Tell Google what we do. Number 3 and 4, location based keywords. Tell Google where we do business. And number 5 and number 6, we want our branded keywords. That way we can tell Google exactly who we are. So let's take a look at your competitors and see if they follow that structure or if they have some keywords that we may have missed. So here we have Tampa Roofing. They're one of your competitors who ranks on the first page organically for roofing services in the Tampa area. And obviously they have an exact match domain, which helps them a little bit. However, don't be too afraid of that because it is very easy to outrank a perfect match domain if we follow the right steps along the way. So take a look at their website. They don't have a lot of content on this page. So as far as that facet goes of SEO, we can really go in and outrank them in that, in that category of SEO. However, let's take a look at the relevance of this content because oftentimes companies will try to squeeze in keywords through images or other means. So let's take a look at if they have. We're back to keywords everywhere. And if we scroll down here, you'll notice their top keywords. We have roofing at number 1. So like I said, very industry specific keyword. You had the same, so not a big deal there. But then immediately you see that they harped on that location. So I recommend having location at 3 or 4. They put it at number 2 because they really wanted to touch on that. Obviously, it's a branding keyword for them as well, but having that location that high up can really stress to Google where you do business. Then they had systems, their brand in there, company, roofing company. So starts to vary a little bit from there. But I would recommend taking this list for some ideas for your own company, as well as using the suggestions that I gave you to really create the strongest keywords list possible. So definitely take a look at this. However, let's go back to your website and talk about external search engine optimization. So we're back to your website. We're talking about external SEO. Unlike internal SEO, external SEO is going to be everything we do away from your website to increase your search appearance. And in this case, we're going to be talking about backlinking. So backlinking, very simple, just a link from one website to another. However, from an SEO perspective, a lot more is going on because when a website links to another, it's essentially saying that I trust the information that's coming from this source or that I think this business is a trustworthy business. So a lot going on from an SEO perspective. And for Google, it's essentially acting as a reference. So when you get that reference from a quality website, it can really do wonders for your website. However, focus in on the word quality because oftentimes I see this all the time. Somebody hears about backlinking, they go on Fiverr, they spend $50 on 10,000 backlinks, and their site crashes immediately to 50 spots below. And the reason that is not a mistake, but that's because harmful or spammy backlinks can tell Google that you are also a harmful or spammy site. So keep that in mind because where we get our backlinks from is going to determine what type of site we purvey ourselves to Google as. So definitely something to think about. However, I have a tool called Ahrefs, and let's take a look at your current backlink structure of your website and see what's been going on so far. So here we are on Ahrefs, and you can see your website has a 19 UR, a 1.2 DR, puts you in the top 100 for 88 keywords, generates about 190 users every single month, and has roughly $3,000 worth of traffic value. So definitely not bad, but let's break down these metrics a little further. So what is UR? What is DR? UR stands for the individual power given to a single page. So in this case, we are just talking about your home page. Now, DR, on the other hand, stands for domain rating, and what that is the power that goes through your entire website. So not just your home page anymore, but all your service pages, your contact us page, every single page is summarized up in DR. So we want the strongest of both metrics along with our internal SEO to create the strongest results possible. But let's take a look at this stat called traffic value. How is that estimated? So traffic value comes from the buyer intent given to a single keyword. Now, the more users you get from that keyword, the higher your traffic value is, depending on the level of buyer intent. So let me give you a good example here. So somebody who looks for roof repair or roof installation has a lot more buyer intent than somebody that just looks for roofs. Now, the reason that is because somebody looking for roofs could be looking for a picture of a roof. Maybe they're looking for roof installation, roof repair, but we don't know. Whereas somebody looking for a roof installation or roof repair is directly looking for a service, and we know that they are more likely to buy. Thus, they have a higher level of buyer intent. So, definitely something to think about. And if we can honestly mix these metrics along with our internal SEO, you're going to see how much value we can really generate. But let's take a look at some of your competitors to kind of get an example. So here we have Tampa Roofing with a 28 UR, a 3.1 DR, generates them about 336 users every single month, and about $4,000 worth of traffic value. So definitely a lot more value here. And you see that it comes from a lot more users and some stronger metrics. But let's keep working our way down the line here. We have Westwall Roofing, which is the #1 organically ranking company for roofing services in Tampa. They have a 33 UR, a 23 DR, generates them about 5,000 users every single month, and almost $40,000 month over month of traffic value. So you clearly see the correlation on the strongest or biggest stage of, when you have that strong internal SEO and external SEO and the amount of value that you can generate for your business. But let's go back and talk about the Google search engine results page for a second. So here we are, we're back to Google search engine results page. And if we scroll down, what we've been talking about is down here in the organic search results. But we also have this Google Map Pack here. And this is super important because it gives businesses a second place that you can win on Google. You can win down below, or you can win in the Map Pack. And if you can do both, you can guarantee that 1,600 searches see your business first before looking at another competitor. So a lot of potential here, but to first get into the Map Pack, you have to verify your business via postcard with Google, which is 100% free. And number 2, to rank in the Map Pack, you first have to adhere to all the different factors they're looking for. So number 1, they look that you filled out that form to 100%. The reason I say fill out their form to 100% is because the more information you give them, the more reputable your business looks. Number two, they look for a strong organic rank, which is why SEO is so important because it not only influences down below, but it also influences the map pack. And number three, they look for citations, which are all the different places your business's name, address, and phone number are listed online. Some popular citations are things like maybe Yelp, Yellow Books, Facebook, Instagram. All those are different citations you can get for your business, and they all help with the Google Map Pack. So let's take a look at how many citations each of these businesses has, and we'll tell you how many you'll need in order to go in and start outranking them. So here we are in Whitespark, and you'll see that we have Stay Dry Roofing with 47 citations, Quality Roof Inc. with 11, and Rainer Roofing with 35. So definitely a lot of competition here, a good amount of citations. Normally, I like to recommend that you double the biggest amount in here. So if they have 47, you're going to need 94 citations to really go in and compete with these guys, along with the other factors. Now, like I said, you have to have those other factors because you look right here and you say, hey, how does somebody get outranked by somebody with 11 citations? And once again, there's a ton of other factors in there. We cannot skip steps along this process because they all go into the end product. So definitely something to think about. And this is a really good example. Like I said, 94 citations along with our other factors like the internal and external SEO. And you should start to see your business really generate some traffic and some revenue month over month. But once again, my name is Justin Gilman. I work with Quantum Leads. It was great talking with you. I'd love to set up a meeting to talk about anything not mentioned in this video, or maybe any questions or concerns you have about this video, but I hope it was educational, and thanks for watching.